Hey everyone, what's going on? So today it's Sunday, it's pouring outside. I'm looking at my phone and I get like a whole flood of emails coming in because I set myself up for notifications every time there's a new job posting. Everywhere, and I mean everywhere. It's not just on LinkedIn. I have it on Indeed. I have a couple other websites that I utilize that I just sign up for notification on different categories of what I'm looking for. I have it under cyber, I have it under GRC, I have it under like cybersecurity or some other keywords that I usually use to get these notifications, and they're all free, so might as well, right? But you do get bombarded with a lot of emails, and I would suggest using a dummy account for all this because it can get overwhelming. But of course, you can also cancel at any time. One thing I wanted to point out today specifically was all of a sudden I get a notification for NYPD and four of them rolled in all at the same time. I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's a mistake, or they're looking to fulfill all these different positions. Now, mind you, I want to say this, that I, in the past, have been offered a position at NYPD. I just never took it. It was for 135,000, but at the time I was also given another offer, which was a lot more than that. So I was like, nah, it's okay. And especially coming out of my previous position, it wasn't that much of an increase. So I'll leave it at that. But one thing I wanted to point out today is the cybersecurity analyst position. Cybersecurity analyst position here in the city of New York. I know not everyone's here in New York, but I just wanted to point out some details of why they posted 4 consecutive cybersecurity analyst positions in a short amount of time, all at one time, right? All on a Sunday morning at 8 o'clock. And I want to go over that with you guys. And I have each one of them opened up, but if at first glance, you're probably looking at this and be like, oh, okay, they're all looking for, to fulfill this group, or they're building out this team. I can assure you that they already have this team existing, and they're just probably some are actually doing replacements, and some are a new addition to all of this. But let me explain a little further, because it's not all within the same group. And why do I say that? Well, here's one of them that I opened up, right? This one is within the bureau, and it has a salary range of 86,000 to 123,000. Now that looks really attractive. I know it does, but let me finish my details and I'll get through everything else. And here's the second one. So it automatically changed from 59,000 to 84,000, and it's also still within the bureau. This one is still within the Infotech Bureau, right? Okay. And then also Infotech Bureau, this is the third one. So this is the third cybersecurity analyst position. The job description starts shifting a little bit because of even the formatting, right? And the requirements for it is slightly different. So I'm going to go over the details of that. But then there's also the fourth one. So what is the fourth one? Why is the fourth one so different from 1 and 2, right? So the fourth one is actually not with the bureau, it's with another department. And this department is actually right here. It says the Information Technology Services Division. So I'm not too familiar with how this bureau one is different from the service division. I'm pretty sure it's within the same compounds of the NYPD as far as the police department, as far as working with each other, but it's a different department, and that's probably why this job description is looking slightly different from where the previous two are. And of course, the pay rate for it, the 59,000 to 84,414. Now you're probably asking, like, why do they throw in these random trailing numbers, right? I'm not sure why they do that. They have a very specific calculation when it comes to city work. They have this formulated compounding of how increases work, and it's really to the T, because people get really antsy about, rounding down or rounding too high up. So they come up with these random numbers. That's the only explanation I have. So even like with this one, the cybersecurity analyst for the bureau at $123,806. I know it doesn't say it, but here it says, as far as a senior on the title or whatnot, they all have the same. And if you're applying to one, you're thinking that you're applying to all 4 of them. No, it's not. It's actually 4 different independent ones. These two may possibly be something that's the same. If you apply to one, it may tell you, but usually All these jobs are under a specific number. So they're all categorized as a number. So you see job ID 635709. And I just want to point that out if it's the same. If it's the same, oh, so it's 635696. All right, so yeah, if you wanted to apply to these two positions, even though they look identical, you will have to apply 2 different times because it's 2 different positions. They may look at it differently when they're on the back end in the office, the admin side, looking at, oh, you applied for this one. They probably would just kind of fill in whichever one that you fit into, because they're both pretty much the same. Now the service department is slightly different, right? And they all four have different job IDs. It's easier for them to identify, when you're working for the city, to identify job IDs to a particular candidate, because that's 1-for-1. You can't have one job ID and have like 2 people working in it. So hopefully that made sense. But anyway, let's go over the cybersecurity analyst, the one that makes 123,000, because this is a cybersecurity analyst 2. And this person will be assisting the analyst and remediation of finding discovery during scheduled internal and third-party vulnerability scans and penetration tests. Cool, right? Let's go through the actual foundation of what you actually have to do on a day-to-day. Handle special projects and initiatives as assigned. Okay, that sounds simple enough, right? Participate in technical and non-technical projects requiring information security oversight, and to ensure policies, procedures, standards are met. Fair enough. Provide relevant analysis, suggest mitigation, track remediation, manage schedule scans, identify gaps and expand scan coverage, and escalate as appropriate. Pretty cool. Nice day-to-day operations here. Perform on-site activities, including implementing cybersecurity solutions, of performing security assessment activities, including technical configuration reviews, recommend new security solutions, as well as effective improvements to existing security controls that do not negatively impact business innovations, conducts cybersecurity risk assessments, and serves as a liaison for the security team. Aids in incident response with Security Operations Center SOC team. All right. Hours and shift, it varies, right? And One Police Plaza is a really nice building. It's right off the Brooklyn Bridge. As soon from the Brooklyn side, you'd be coming out, and then of course it's like right there. It's a really high volume of tourists in that area because it gets really close to the World Trade Center. And I can probably put it into perspective. So as I was saying, this is the Brooklyn Bridge, and you come out, and within this compound right here, where you see this huge, like really nice big building, is One Police Plaza, and you walk in this little hallway. That's where the office is actually situated. And I've actually I go here all the time. I pass by here all the time. I used to walk in here all the time because I was not working too far from here, and I usually had to walk through here in order to get to the other side of where I needed to get to. So I would just walk in here. It's really nice inside. It's really safe. So I just wanted to point that out of exactly where One Police Plaza is located. Let's go over some of the other detail, additional information. So one thing I wanted to point out first of all is that none of these 4 positions require an exam right now. It says it may be required. And when it says it may be required, is that it just means that there's nothing that you need to take now. And when I say exam, we're not talking about certifications here. We're not talking about, CompTIA or ISC squared or anything like that. The city, New York City, has their own civil service exams that you take, and then you get put on a list, and eventually, if you score, if you pass, they evaluate you and they assess you, like all the criteria that are met as far as formal education, technology certification, and your experience in this role, or the type of position or the title that you're trying to get into. Just wanted to point that out. I did want to mention here, the minimum qualifications is that you still need a degree. A lot of city agencies, it's just required that you have to have a college degree, all right, and a 4-year high school diploma. Preferred skills is this: entry-level cybersecurity certification obtained valid and current, 0 to 3 years of cybersecurity experience. So they're saying that you can have 0 experience up to 3 years. expertise in incident response and system monitoring. Let's go over what they have and what they want. Experience in conducting risk assessment and protecting business and adheres to compliance with privacy laws, knowledge of multiple computing platforms, including Windows, OS X, Linux, Unix, networks, and endpoints. Experience with change and project management. Demonstrate passion to control, to continue learning and growing in cybersecurity. Highly trustworthy and leads by example. Possesses highly effective communication skills with the ability to influence business units. All right, I won't go over all of that, but you can get a pretty good idea of what they're looking for. These are really high level soft skills. It's something that you will have to probably demonstrate as you're, working with individuals. But more importantly, these are the things that are going to pick up within the first few minutes of your interview. Once you kind of get into that position of speaking to the hiring manager. So, of course, this is all the benefits of working for New York City and so on and so forth. But this is the entry level one, guys. So 0 to 3 years is what they're saying, and this is the price range that they're offering. Now, let's go back to the higher range and see what they're asking for in this position. And I won't go over too much of it, but let's go over preferred skills. Here it says 3 or more years of cybersecurity experience. So this is where more senior is picking off of obviously the junior one, which is 0 to 3 years experience. If you have it, that's great. You'll be a junior. We'll put you in this bracket of 50,000 to 80,000. But if you have 3+ more years, we can possibly put you in this SOC 2 position, and your range increases tremendously from 86 to 123,000. So pretty good as far as job markets are opening. As far as a lot of these comments came in from my previous one. Yes, people are getting laid off from cyber. There's tons of articles, and there's a percentage of people who within IT, in the IT department, which is considered, some individuals are cyber, are getting let go. And I've even come across people that I know personally that have been let go from cyber, and it exists. A lot of people are commenting and saying like, no, where does IT or technology have anyone that said that they were being let go from the cyber team? They are, but they're also finding replacements, whether it's lower cost, because a lot of these cyber positions were overpaid 2-3 years ago, even for the smallest and lowest and junior level positions. So I'm not surprised if organizations are reconsidering the salary ranges that they could potentially give to new hires, which is lower than what they currently hired when they put someone in that position 2-3 years ago. So trust me, guys, I'm not saying, I'm not making up FUDs or about the industry, but it's reality that these do exist. People do get let go for whatever the case is, whatever the reasons are, and some of these individuals are related to cybersecurity, and it goes with it. You can see within my comments, I have come across a few individuals that have mentioned that they have been let go. And I actually know people that have been let go, and they're all within cybersecurity. But that's not to say the other 90% that I know, they're still working, right? They're still getting leads on new positions. They're still getting interviews. Maybe not as much as they used to, but it definitely does still exist. I'm not saying it's dying. I'm not saying everyone or corporations are just stop hiring and they're gonna start letting go people. That, of course, that's never gonna happen, because cybersecurity is still in high demand, right? And I just wanted to make that point out to you guys. Is it's not that I'm trying to say that cybersecurity is dying and no one's hiring and everyone's getting fired. Not the case at all. And as we can see for ourselves, 4 new positions from New York Police Department was just posted. 4 different SOC positions. Well, 1 senior, 3 juniors, and 1 of them belongs to a different department. But all in all, it's still part of the police department. So obviously, they are still looking and heavily investing in the growth of cybersecurity, because they just know, and everyone else knows, how important this is, because more and more crimes are being committed electronically than they are being done physically. And I say that because we hear it all the time. It's all over the news. And I just wanted to point that out to you guys. I know this is very specific, it's very niche, because it's all really specific to New York City, but I just wanted to make this point out that, jobs are still being created and jobs are still being considered. So I want to thank everyone that's here, and please hit that like, comment, subscribe, and all that great stuff. And I appreciate you guys always being here, and I'll talk to you guys again really soon. Take care.